Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Live at 5 on this, the 9th of March. We are so close to coming out of the end of lockdown. I've got a little visitor here that I wanted you all to meet. This is little baby Rocco, who's still in a very bitey phase. Say hello. Say hello. Say hi, everyone. Um, like many people, we've indulged in a little puppy during lockdown. He's a Yorkie poo. And yes, I know you're very cute. And I've just brought him in as, and bitey. I brought him in because today's topic is on breathwork. Um, and um, I've had a lot of kind of feedback from clients at the minute that coming out of lockdown, there's a lot of anxious feelings, a lot of anxiety. Ow. And I just wanted to kind of hone back on where the basics of breathing come from. If you look at a little baby, for example, a little baby that cries um, from infancy, that kind of yes, what's that noise? It comes from the diaphragm. It's an involuntary movement that comes from the diaphragm. And similarly, this little chap, when he barks, it's all from here, from low down, isn't it? You don't know you don't know what anxiety is. I'm just going to put him away. So today's sessions is all about breath work. But before we begin, I'm going to get rid of him. I just want to show you a clip from my West End Sessions live stream as part of the Adelaide Fringe Festival that happened last Saturday. And this is one of my clients, Phoebe Panaretos, who is in complete control of her breath during this song. You could hear a pin drop, and I'm super proud of this performance. And it's a ode to super great breath work. So have a look at this.
Out on the bridge tonight, we threw rocks, all shattering the harbor lights. And with that look on your face, there's the other one behind it that I really like. And then we said our goodbyes, and I'll start counting the days, wipe that frown from my face in anticipation. Come back for me. I will be waiting where you tell me. Come back for me. I will be waiting where you leave me. I'm not afraid to die, but it's your death, honey, that I think about. And in the sky sometime, I'll get a plain sky riding for your birthday. I've got a message in mind. It's the same as before. I'm just waiting for your next confirmation. Come back for me. I will be waiting where you tell me. Come back for me. I will be waiting where you leave me. It's a hell of a scene. All your friends will be green. I should be painting you. Every Saturday night, I'll be shattering lights, throwing rocks here with no one. Come back for me. I will
What about that Miss Phoebe Panaretos, ladies and gents? A super awesome talent, and someone I've been working with a long time, and she's really mastered her tone and control, and definitely her breath work and her support. So big round of applause for her. And Rocco says goodbye. He's gone in the naughty chair because he's still very bitey at the minute. So I guess it just goes to show, like, did you guys know the difference between like presenting yourself as bold and assertive or nervous and hesitant? It really comes down to your breath. And I think during these kind of unprecedented times, I mean, I've even found myself getting that kind of very nervous, shallow when I've got a lot on, especially when my calendar's absolutely full in terms of time management and delegation. Sometimes I'm not very good at delegating, and there's simply not enough hours in the day for me to do everything that I've got to do. So that can cause anxiety. It comes down to like a plethora of different decisions and I guess performance skills. But proper breathing can definitely make you feel calm, composed, and super confident. And in my years of experience as a vocal coach, I found breathwork to be an essential tool in producing powerful and really imposing performances. Whether you're preparing for an inspiring presentation on stage or a monumental singing audition, you really need to learn how to better control your breathing. And that's why I've called today's session brave breathing practices, because to not implement these things it takes bravery. It takes bravery to learn a new skill, to implement it when we're so used to falling back and kind of resting on our laurels of things that kind of happen naturally, but we know they're safe and they're guarded, and we do them time and time again, and don't want to go out of our comfort zone. Breathing is one of those things that takes practice. It takes daily routine. Again, note ode to my like mini habits session. 5 minutes a day in terms of working on your breathing technique is all it's really going to take to start seeing changes. I mean, this week, this is a medicine ball back here, with a month or just a little bit over a month until the gyms get back. I want to start working on strengthening my technique back up, ready for audition season. My core and everything. There's a lot of screen time going on at the moment. I'm sure you guys really appreciate the fact that I'm here a lot. And so a walk, the puppy's been super good for that. An 8 a.m. wake up call. I mean, sometimes it's a bit earlier, but we try and stretch him out to 8 a.m. wake up call. Some steps. The steps are up. He gets home. He's fed. Then we go out for a proper walk because he's still a bit stop-start, which is a bit annoying. We go out. We try and get a 5,000 step walk in. I come back. Sorry for that police car. And then I'll do 5 minutes of core work on the ball, and then I'll start. And then, every time I get up, sometimes when the phone rings, what I'll do is implement the habit of going to the ball then. And really, there's a lot of super great breath work you can do with the ball. I do some of that in the academy. But a major aspect of preparing for important event lies in practice or rehearsal, and I can't kind of implement enough how important it is to really hone in specifically on breath. And breath in the academy that I run is where we start, because without breath there is no life, and without breath there is no sound. I'm just going to go to the group because we've got a question here. Hi Dan and Rocco. Hi, hello. He says hi. Can certain food and drinks negatively or positively impact the breath functions of performers? I'm thinking of alcohol causing high blood pressure, etc., and fatty foods causing potential health issues. I assume that this is something performers need to be super strict about. Yes, well, good question. It is, and a lot of people don't. Again, another module, you saw my cousin Luke cook last week. We went over his 8 pillars in terms of health, nutrition, sleep, all of those things. Because our body is our vessel and our instrument, if those things aren't working in perfect harmony, then we're going to come unstuck. Alcohol is a big one. I mean, I am from one of the biggest wine-producing regions in South Australia originally, albeit I've been here a long time. But I love a glass of wine. And I guess 1 or 2 is fine. You need to know your like tolerance levels when it comes to things like that. It depends when you have it. When I was in shows, I would avoid it during the weeks. Obviously, an 8 show a week schedule is rather hectic, so I would avoid it during the week. And on a Saturday night after I finished all 8 shows, as a reward to myself, I'd have a glass of wine. And normally, by that stage of the week, I was so exhausted that one glass of wine was enough. And same thing with fatty foods. I mean, not necessarily. Uh, Fatty doesn't really affect me like that. I mean, I just try and eat as clean as possible. But yeah, I mean, as an individual, you know the things that are gonna like upset you, or just cause you unbalance, more mucus production or more saliva than's necessary. It might dry you out. Alcohol is super dehydrating. So it's just, I guess, finding the balance of, not having to abstain from everything, because that's also not super fun, but just knowing the balance of, um, what you can have and what you can't in terms of the lead up to a performance or a speech or a presentation. Hope that answers your question. um, so I just wanted to go through like understanding like the power of breath, learning about the health benefits of good breathing, and practicing breath work with simple yet kind of deeply impactful daily exercises. Um, and obviously we had a session with the lovely Dr. Denise Bernardini, and she went over our BOLT score. And if you don't know what that is, you'll have to go back and have a look. But when we slowly take a deep breath in, I'll just recap that this allows carbon dioxide to build up in our bloodstream, which in turn stimulates a nervous system as well that releases oxygen in our cells. And as a result, this produces feelings of peace, calm, and relaxation. Intentional deep breathing is a great way to regulate your autonomic nervous system. When your mind and body are in a state of relaxation, this sense of balance and harmony also translates into your voice. So when we are at one with our breathing and we're not over breathing or have that high, anxious kind of uptight breathing, chest breathing as I call it, when we're diaphragmatic breathing, when we're nose breathing, when air is being warmed by coming in through our nose, it just creates a state of like perfect harmony, which relaxes us, which in turn makes us want to breathe that way more, and deliver sound on the breath, as I call it. I'll always tell my clients to speak and sing on the breath, and if they're not doing that, I'll get them to stop. Or if I see them take a breath from the wrong place, I'll get them to stop, and we like recommence after they've taken a minute, because there is no fast road to this. You need to retrain your body to be involuntarily conscious of this new style of breathing, and it's just super important. And again, shallow breathing is a psychological effect of anxiety, and it restricts the range of your voice as well as the fullness of its sound. It may come across as strange, choked, uneasy. You may feel a tightness here, which then negatively affects your performances. So instead of sounding spontaneous and natural, it plays out as like maybe forceful or insecure. So it's super. All of these things stem from breath work. Breath work is key. So here's just a few benefits of good breathing. It improves blood flow even. Wow, I need to work on my tongue twisters this week. It improves your posture. It increases your energy levels. It lowers your blood pressure. It lowers your heart rate. It reduces your stress levels. It regulates your body's response to anxiety, and it relaxes your mind and body. So, even it did 3 of those things, then it's like, it's enough. So I just wanted to maybe go through one breathing technique that just one of about 4 or 5 that I use in the academy to really kind of hone in on what it feels like to be in a conscious state of flow. And that's nose breathing. A lot of us, especially when we're anxious, we breathe through our mouth. And maybe you've been taught to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. I like to do it all through the nose, especially when in the infinite stages of learning, of reconnecting our body on how to breathe. So a simple way of doing this is just shutting off one nostril and taking a large deep breath in, and then holding it, and then closing the other one, and then breathing out, and then holding this one and breathing in, And then closing this one. And breathing out. Now, you might find that one nostril is more constricted than the other. It's normal and natural. By doing this, you're going to naturally open up the airways in the nasal cavities and in your soft palate and all that kind of thing, which need to be functioning and need to be resonant to make great sound. It's also because by obviously closing one nostril off, it's slightly restrictive, so it will feel that you're not getting as much air as you would do if you breathe in normally through the nose. But that in itself, in terms of your bolt score, is good, because it's gonna like train your body not to be so oxygenated. Not over oxygenation leads to this high stressful breathing, and we want to negate that. Another question. Another question for me. Does temperature of your surroundings affect your breath work? Is it better to practice and rehearse in warmer or colder environments? Yeah, another good question. Unfortunately, I mean, I live in the UK where it's, Baltic. I mean, obviously different parts of Europe and the States are more cold than here. And spring is in the air and it's still sunlight. So I'm praying that it gets warmer soon. But yeah, I mean, it's also kind of indicative of not really wanting to go out and exercise when it's that kind of cold and that kind of temperature, because it does, if I've gone out for a run, or if I've pushed myself to go out for a run or even a walk during these cold winter months, you can come back and you can be a little bit kind of congested, sometimes a bit like mucusy, because cold lung coming in your lungs, especially if you forget to nose breathe and it's coming straight in through your mouth, your lungs kind of go into kind of protective mode and will get a bit more mucusy than normal. You can have a little bit of a cough. In saying that, like super athletes train in all kind of extremes, at altitude, in cold, in different mediums, to try and obviously gain strength in every circumstance in their performance. For singers, it's warm tropical environments are great. So warming up in the shower, getting on your vocal tube in the shower, lip trills, all of that kind of thing is super great. I would avoid, again, when I was in shows, I would wear scarves during the winter months to keep this region warm and protected. I would avoid kind of cold, dry, cold air kind of at all costs. And again, trying to, if you're out and about during those cold winter months, breathe as much as you can through your nose. It will be initially uncomfortable if you're not used to it, only because the air going in can be quite cold and can sting the back, especially if you've been a bit ill. But the air coming in through your nose warms and moistens it before it hits your lungs, unlike when you mouth breathe. So I hope that's answered your question, Wayne Desi. So yeah, I guess that's in short just wrapping up my live at 5. I've got to have a bit shorter this week because I'm jumping on a call actually with the lovely Dr. Denise to discuss a few things moving forward. So I guess in short, when you practice proper breath work, you will gradually begin to see a positive transformation and a strength and a power in your vocal delivery. And it's a big thing that I start on in my coaching, and I come back to frequently to make sure it's there and it's a permanent asset to your vocal delivery. So unless there's any more questions, that's it from me on this March the 9th live at 5, all about breath work. And as always, if you'd like to jump on a call to see what it looks like to work a little bit more closely with me in my coaching program, the Ultimate Performance Academy, I've got a few slots left in my calendar this week, so there'll be a link attached to this video as soon as that's uploaded. So click on the link and book in a session with me, and I look forward to chatting with you super soon. I'm Daniel Cook, live at 5, signing off, and you have a great week. Ciao for now.